from ERA. Welcome to our third series of Buyer Guide. Today we shall talk about the micro environment consideration, and that includes the right property selection. In buying, we should consider the right property, then keep asking if this is the right time. Let me walk you through. Here we focus on the key success factor to consider before buying action take place. Buying a house is a long-term investment, especially within existing and future cooling measure environment. We shall move from the macro to the micro consideration. There are many factors when selecting what to buy, but it boils down to what the buyer is looking at. We will be presenting 8 key success factors, in short, KSF. For the first KSF, we should analyze master plan before buying. It is important to start with the URA master plan, as it covers the land use for a medium term over the next 10 to 15 years. It's reviewed every 5 years and translate the broad long-term strategy of the concept plan into detailed plans to guide the development of land and property. You should not want to be surprised with the buildings next to your unit. These critical factors impact the future buyer consideration. Let's take a look at the potential development of Paya Lebar quarters, which is part of the last master plan development of Paya Lebar Central to decentralized CBD, and how the Paya Lebar quarters affects nearby private residential properties. Let's look at how a nearby private property, Diamond View, make a profit of about 20% in 3 years from October 2016. And with Alcove, another nearby property, price have risen by 30%. Both are about 1 kilometer from Paya Lebar quarters. Have a look at the master plan of Novena Medical Research City and its development on its surrounding. This includes the expansion of Mount Avenue 1, which is slated for completion next year. And it's obvious that the impact on the growth of rental yield to remain strong in the future, as Novena Health City is expected to grow its workforce to some 30,000 healthcare professionals. Second key success factor, Transport Master Plan 2040, will make your life much more convenient. If there are no complements to transportability for the project vicinities, let me ask you, what makes the unit invested to potentially rise? There will be many projects along this north-south corridor which will benefit once it is completed in 2026. One of them is the recent new launch, Copa at Newton. Due to its strategic location near the north-south corridor, we can see potential saving of travelling of about 50%. Third KSF, let's compare private residential against HDB. At the core district region, CCR, where many of our new projects are launching, you can see that the private residential properties has risen by almost 3% in third quarters of last year, whereas HDB resale has been stagnant since 2014. In fact, most of us knows that private properties investment is also good for hedging against inflation and also uncertainties, like during this period of COVID-19. For the past 10 years, from August 2009 to August 2019, the inflation rate of 3% is higher than the annualized HDB capital gain of just 2.7%. In comparison to private residential property within the same timeline, the prices has raised by more than 7% per year. This is more than double the inflation of 3%. In short, the capital gain of private residential is more than 5 times of HDB. Fourth key success factor, buy new launches than resale. Basing on CCR again, the new launches have better growth than resale by about 16% over a period of 10 years from 2009. And you narrow down on District 10 of core district region, the annualized capital gain is much more, of about 7% as compared to 4% for CCR. Now, let's move into specific comparison of these two projects in District 1. With quite similar size of 60 square meters, the new launch of Marina 1 Residence performed way better than the resale property of the sale by more than 100% over a period of 4 years. Moreover, The added advantage of first mover is obvious, as developer will price up for every phase on the development. Let's see those projects going to TOP soon. For those who have purchased multi-modern projects during the early stage in year 2017, they could have a paper gain of 27% by now. 18% for Star of Coven, 11% for Apps Residence, 12% for Park Rivera, and 15% for Seaside Residence. Looks like the CCR has the most paper gain. Let's look at the performance of those projects that TOP in 2003. Look at the Pier at Robertson, gain of 126% over 16 years. Garden Vista for 128% gain. East Shine for 82% gain. And Stephen Loft for 43%. Now, let's move on with the factors relating to location and amenities. And near to MRT will be our fifth key success factor. In my last series, I've touched on this, and let me emphasize again. With efficient transportation network, MRT has played a pivotal role. Looks at the extension of new lines planned to cater for the population growth. Then what is the effect of MRT on property prices? Let's compare two projects, Astoria Park and Neptune Court, which are 130 meters and 1.5 kilometers respectively away from Kembangan MRTs. Astoria Park has outperformed Neptune Court with higher capital gain of 30% more, and this is due to the vast difference in distance from the MRTs. How about another case near Woolley MRT station? 8 at Woolley is 350 meters and Park Montreal is 600 meters away from MRT respectively. Do take note that both projects are within walking distance of 600 meters from MRT. As such, 8 at Woolley makes quite similar annualized capital gain of about 17% as compared to 18% gain by Park Montreal. In summary, the nearer the projects to the MRT, the higher the capital gain, especially those within walking distance of 1 kilometers. The same applies to the rental yield. For those buyers who are interested on en bloc potential projects, do take note that the majority of en bloc that happens are those within 1 kilometers from MRT too. 6 key success factor, school zone. We have many clients who specifically need to have the projects within 1 kilometers to renowned primary schools like above. This is especially true for elite primary schools, as there is priorities for selection of entry. Look at the percentage drop in housing price for the loss of top 50 rented schools. This shows how parents are willing to pay for good schools criteria. But can the value of the unit sustain and be sold at higher price at later years? We are now moving into comparison of locations. On these 7 key success factors, choose the location that the downside risk is lower than the upside gain. Let's compare the scarcity of stocks for the 3 regions in Singapore. Core Central District is the lowest at about 80,000 units. And there is also much fewer private residential units launched for CCR at merely 11%. And this has been a good hedge against inflation for long term and in future too, due to its limited supply. Comparing the performance of Core Central District and District 9, which is also part of CCR, during both SARS period and global financial crisis period, District 9 upside gain is higher than downside risk of CCR. Even last year, District 9 have also outperformed CCR. Next, let's narrow down on CCR and comparable properties near these new launch projects called Copa at Newton. The capital gain of the comparable basket of 5 projects is about 13%. However, there is a capital loss of 3% in CCR during 2012 to 2019. In total, there is a difference of 16%. For our 8th and final key success factor, we look at buying the right place at the right price. We shall narrow down in comparing projects to projects. In this case, we compare the new launch of Copa at Newton and surrounding projects. Comparing the land cost and also the estimated launch prices of all the surrounding projects with Copa and Newton, the latter has outperformed the rest. This is due to the fact that Copa at Newton site is tendered after the additional cooling measure in July 2018 and at the lower end of its surroundings land purchase. In summary, the land cost of Copa at Newton is lower than those surrounding land costs in CCR. Thus, this creates an opportunities for Copa at Newton to launch at a more attractive price of 20% lower. We shall discuss further on each region or district or later series. With the above 8 key success factors, there are also other micro factors where different buyers may consider. The list don't seem to end. With this, we conclude today's presentation. Hope the insight made you look at a better perspective. May that be buying a home to stay or for investment? Stay tuned and we will share more insights and updates in our next session. Take care, stay safe, and see you soon.